All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to tackle one of the biggest, most expensive crises in the hospitality world, that relentless, churning, revolving door of employee turnover. It's this quiet problem that just sabotages everything, from the guest experience all the way to the bottom line. So we're going to break down some really innovative ways people are trying to solve it for good. So let's just start with one number, a really staggering one, 80%. Seriously, in some parts of the hospitality industry, that's the annual employee turnover rate. Just let that sink in for a second. Imagine you have a team of 5 people. By this time next year, 4 of them could be gone. How do you build a team? How do you maintain any kind of standard? Heck, how do you even remember everyone's name? It's a recipe for constant instability. And look, that 80% isn't just some abstract number on a spreadsheet. It's a full-blown crisis. This constant churn just creates operational chaos. It becomes nearly impossible to deliver a consistent, high-quality guest experience when your team is basically always in training mode, always in transition. This isn't just an HR headache. It's a fundamental business failure.
So what's the price tag on this revolving door? Well, industry data points to an average cost of about $15,000. And that's to replace a single hotel employee. And that's not just for running a few job ads, That number includes all the overtime you're paying to the staff who are left, the cost of training a new hire who isn't productive for weeks, and all that priceless knowledge about how things really work that just walked out the door.
But honestly, that 15 grand is just the tip of the iceberg. The hidden costs, they're arguably way, way more damaging. We're talking about a damaged brand reputation because your service is all over the place, a constant drain on your manager's time because they're always recruiting and training, and, of course, a huge hit to morale for your best people who are just getting burned out picking up all the slack.
Okay, so if the old way of doing things isn't working, what's the new playbook look like? Well, there's this emerging idea championed by firms like Distinct Hospitality Solutions that calls for a major shift. It's about moving away from just basic training and diving into a much more integrated, tech-driven approach to your whole company culture.
And wow, the difference in philosophy it's stark. On the left, you've got the traditional way. These generic, one-size-fits-all modules, these static courses that just kind of gather digital dust. It's all about checking a box for compliance, right? But on the right, you see the shift. We're talking customized frameworks built by people who've actually worked in the industry, powered by AI, and focused not just on compliance, but on building a real high-performance culture. So, at the very heart of this new approach is some really powerful technology. Let's take a look at the engine that's actually driving this transformation. It's something called T.R.A.I.N. So what is T.R.A.I.N exactly? Well, according to the source material, it's an AI-powered immersive learning platform. The keywords you really want to focus on here are AI, which means the learning gets personalized for every single employee. Then there's immersive, so you're using things like virtual reality to practice real-world scenarios. And 24/7, making development and training accessible whenever your staff actually has a moment to breathe.
Now, this isn't just about plugging in some software and hoping for the best. The methodology is a really clear 4-step process. First, it starts with a deep dive, researching a property's specific challenges. Then, the AI gets to work creating unique training paths for everyone. After that, staff can actually practice in these immersive simulations, like, say, handling a VIP arrival in VR, before they ever have to do it in real life. And finally, and this is crucial, everything is measured with real-time analytics. Okay, so that's the philosophy and the tech. But the big question, the one you're all asking, is, does it actually work? This is where we go from the how to the what, the real, tangible, data-driven results that prove this whole concept works. So what does success look like in the real world? In one case study, a luxury resort saw its guest satisfaction scores jump by 23%, and that was in just 90 days. I mean, this wasn't a fluke. It was the direct result of staff getting to practice those really tricky guest interactions in a safe, simulated environment before they ever hit the hotel floor. It just made them more confident and way more effective. And it goes way beyond just making guests happier. A boutique hotel chain used the platform's data, and they discovered that just small tweaks in how housekeeping presented the rooms could actually nudge guests to use more in-room services. The result? A 31% increase in ancillary revenue per guest. That's a direct line from consistent training straight to the bottom line. But this one might be the most impressive result. It came from a luxury spa.
So they stopped using these vague goals like service excellence. Instead, they used the system to train and track tiny, specific behaviors, like making sure every staff member uses a guest's name at least twice during an interaction. Just that one small, consistent change led to a 45% increase in guest return rates. Incredible.
And the impact behind the scenes is just as big. I mean, look at these operational improvements. A 40% reduction in internal miscommunications. That means the front desk, housekeeping, maintenance, they're all finally in sync. And when issues do pop up, they're resolved 25% faster, which can turn a potential bad review into a glowing one. So, when you put all this data together, it becomes pretty clear. This isn't just a newfangled way to train people. It really represents a fundamental shift in how you operate. It's a whole new standard for service. This quote from the source material just nails it. It really captures the whole idea perfectly. The investment isn't in some digital files or a few one-off workshops. The real investment is in the pillars of what actually makes a hospitality business succeed: its culture and the consistency of its service. And that investment is built around 5 critical pillars. It connects everything from operational efficiency and revenue all the way to talent development. The whole idea is, you can't fix retention just by training your entry-level staff. You also have to develop your next generation of leaders from within. You have to give people a real reason to stick around and grow. At the end of the day, the whole argument here is that this kind of integrated approach isn't just about reacting to the turnover crisis. Instead of constantly trying to plug holes in a leaky bucket, it's about building a much better bucket in the first place. It's a proactive strategy that's trying to set a whole new benchmark for the industry. And that leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. When you think about the huge costs of high turnover, everything from that $15,000 per employee to the slow motion erosion of your brand, the real question isn't about the cost of trying something new. It's about the ever-growing cost of doing nothing at all.